A coworker pulled me aside one day. They had heard I was living in my RV full time, and they looked at me, the way someone looks at a person they are generally concerned about, and said, "Why would you live like that?" I laughed, not because it was funny, but because I knew exactly what they were picturing. A rusted out trailer, a beat up lawn chair, with maybe a pink flamingo sitting next to it. Some kind of last resort situation. The classic broke down on the side of the road image. And I get it. That's what a lot of people picture when they hear the word RV. So I explained it to them. My motorhome has a full kitchen, a real bed, a living room, a bathroom with a shower, climate control, internet, probably everything their house has. Every single amenity, just in a smaller footprint. Except I can leave whenever I want. I don't have to pack for a trip because everything I own is already with me. I can drive to a lake on a Friday afternoon and stay there for a month if I want to. Can your house do that? They didn't really have an answer for that. And then something interesting happened. The concern on their face slowly turned into curiosity. They started asking questions. Isn't it small? How about the shower? Tiny? What about summer? Too hot? And the winters here are freezing. And I just smiled because those are the right questions. Those are the questions someone asks when they're actually thinking about it. Not judging it anymore, but actually thinking. Yes, it's smaller than a house, but it has everything I need. The shower works just fine. And as for hot and cold, I have climate control, a generator, a backup power system. My home handles the weather. I just live in it. By the end of that conversation, he wasn't concerned anymore. He was more curious. And that's usually how it goes, once people actually understand what they're looking at. But here's the thing. A week, maybe two later, a different coworker came up to me. Completely different assumption, completely opposite direction. They said, "You must be saving so much money doing that." And I just laughed again and said, "You don't really know the lifestyle." And that's the hard truth about RV living that nobody talks about. People have two pictures in their head. Picture one, you're struggling, living small because you have no other choice, scraping by in something run down. And picture two, you're practically living in it for free. No mortgage, no rent, just pocketing mountains of money every month. Both pictures are wrong. Here's the reality. A quality motorhome or camper costs real money. Campground fees are real. Fuel is real. Maintenance, insurance, repairs, all are very real too. This isn't a budget lifestyle by default. It's a choice, a deliberate trade-off of one set of costs for a completely different set. And it's also not poverty. It's not a last resort. It's not settling. It's a fully equipped home that happens to have an engine. And speaking of misconceptions, let me tell you about a moment that can prove this better than anything I've said previously. I was at a barbecue competition a while back. A customer of mine showed up with his wife. At some point, his wife asked if she could use the restroom. And I said, "Of course, go on inside. It's not huge, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. It's halfway back on the left." She paused and looked uncertain. "Is there water for flushing?" And I said, "Well, yes, ma'am. It's just like your home. Use the toilet, and you better wash your hands in the sink afterwards. Use it exactly like your house." She laughed nervously, but headed inside anyway. A few minutes later, she came back out and immediately turned to her husband and said, "You've got to come see this thing." And then they asked for a full tour, inside and out, because what she saw inside was nothing like what she expected to see. That moment right there is worth more than anything I could tell you about this lifestyle, because she walked in expecting one thing and walked out saying, "You have to come see this." Here's another misconception I want to address. It has been discussed in the comments several times, and it also comes up almost every time I camp with a group of friends at the lake. Without fail, someone always asks me the same question. "Don't you get lonely?" And I always give them the same honest answer. I grew up as an only child. Being alone has never bothered me. I could go an entire month without talking to anyone and be completely fine with it. That's not sad. That's just who I am. And honestly, RV life suits that and me perfectly. And then there's the other one, the joking version of the misconception. Someone always says, "Must be nice to always be camping." And look, in theory, that does sound amazing. If I was always at a lake or on some big road trip, waking up somewhere new every week, yeah, must be nice. But that's not really how it works. Monday through Friday, my motorhome sits in the same spot. I wake up, drive to work, come home, just like most everyone else. The difference is my home can leave on a Friday afternoon if I want it to, and sometimes that's all I need. So the next time someone asks you why you live like that, assumes you must be saving a fortune, wonders if you're getting lonely all the time, or says, must be nice to always be camping, just smile, because they're all working from a picture that has nothing to do with your actual life. The truth is somewhere in the middle. It costs real money, it takes real work, and it absolutely is a real home. It just happens to also be available at a lake on any given Friday afternoon if you want it to be. This channel is about the real side of RV life. No filters, no sugarcoating, just the truth about what this lifestyle actually looks like. Remember to not only live the length of your life, make sure to live the width of it as well. You will thank me later. I'll see you in the next one.